Week 14 in the NFL, and with every play, every outcome, we get a little bit more clarity on the wild world of our league.
Yeah, clarity, confusion, madness, sexiness, fill in the blank.
We want it all, Sessy, and we're going to give it to you right now, Hedonists. Time to heed the call. Hey-o, welcome to Heed the Call, an NFL podcast. It is the flagship program Sunday evening. Except no substitutes. Every game will be covered in depth by the heroes in service of the hedonists. Dan Hanzus here, Marc Sessler, Conor Orr, Justin Graver, and boys, we're going to get into all the games, but of course we're going to start with the last game that was played. And it feels to me like we watched the end of the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty on Sunday Night Football. And I'm trying not to be melodramatic about it, but it felt like the end of something. So let's get into it. Patrick Mahomes. He dropped back. He looked around. He bought time. And he kept targeting the guys that he trusted the most. And nobody could hold on to the ball. And when the Chiefs weren't killing themselves, the Texans were doing everything right. Their top-ranked defense locked in. C.J. Stroud making the big plays when he had to. And when the dust cleared, and the dust did clear because this is one of the more physical games in quite some time that I can remember being played in primetime. It was the Texans 20, the Chiefs 10. The Texans remain very much not just in the AFC wildcard race, but the AFC South divisional race. And the Chiefs at 6-7, Sessy, they're in need of a miracle, one that I don't think's coming this year.
I don't think so either. I think we all can see that. No matter what, it's a different team right now. And you said it. It feels like the dynastic elements to this team are gone. And it came on a night with totally unleashed brutality. It was, if you're a Chiefs fan, it was a tough watch. You're watching guys like Rashee Rice not really show up. Travis Kelce, in the most critical moment, the ball flutters off his hands for an interception to basically end the game. You've got Patrick Mahomes limping around, trying it the best he can and making a couple key throws at the end of the game, but they're dropped. It's like everything fell apart. And I don't think it was a great Andy Reid night either. Everything sort of just came apart at the seams, but it was the nature of Houston's defense, both defenses really, but like Jalen Petrie blowing up Rashee Rice on one of the biggest hits I've seen in years, kind of just characterizing what this Houston defense can do and why I think they can win a playoff game. I don't think the Chiefs are getting there. I think the Houston Texans can, and they can win a playoff game.
I don't know if it's the end of the dynasty, but it is certainly the end of like this iteration of it, right? And New England kind of had their gap year. And I think really all the signs were there after they got their doors blown off by the Eagles in the Super Bowl last year. This team lacked physicality. They lacked heft. They lacked the ability to be big enough and to play different styles of football. This is a back to the drawing board moment, but it was also just literally the worst start of Patrick Mahomes' career. I mean, there's no comp for this. Never had a 0 touchdown, 3-int game, worst completion percentage, I think worst quarterback rating he's ever had. And so in that regard, it's like, you know, how much is it just awful timing and him making awful decisions versus, you know, whatever else is going on with Kansas City?
That's interesting because I would say the numbers, you could say worst game of his career. I didn't think he played the worst game of his career. In fact, I thought he was really let down. I mean, he had the one deep ball shot that didn't work out. That was a bad throw and a bad decision that led to the interception. But you just look at the sequences down the stretch in this game. We're talking 4 massive drops. One by Kareem Hunt that comes ahead of the Andy Reid decision that we're going to talk about. You had a Rashee Rice drop on 4th down that put them in a very vulnerable spot, obviously. But after the defense gets the stop, they get back on the field. And Travis Kelce, as Mark alludes to, had 2 drops on the final possession of consequence. One to start the drive on a short pass, and then the one where he got lit up, but only after it fluttered off his fingers and he was left unprotected. He got popped in the ribs. 4 huge drops, and I thought that Collinsworth put it well in this game. Even when it's perfect, it's not working, he said. And I thought that was a good way to put what happened to the Chiefs in this game, where they were struggling and their defense is playing its heart out. And the offense, though, they cannot make a big play. And Mahomes, I thought, got let down a lot. And let's talk about the Reed decision, because this is a game. It was one of my favorite games of the year. Just because it absolutely felt like a playoff game. And I'm a little surprised, Sessy. You said twice there that the Texans could win a playoff game. I think they could win multiple playoff games the way they're
Well, it's
built
possible too in this conference. Yeah, I just think
they could go on a run. I
think like one quick thing, because when we look at, Patrick Mahomes having 10 straight incompletions or an interception in there, he was under incredible duress, and he's the magician that can in a crowded pocket find a way to get the ball to someone. He had a lot of passes that just went nowhere tonight also down the stretch. Like, Houston's defense is the reason so many of those numbers formed the way they did.
Right. So let's talk about the decision that Reed makes. It is at this time it's a 10-10 game. And it's not just Houston's defense that's playing lights out. It's Kansas City's defense, too. Spags has them playing at a high level. They have a 4th and 1 after a 9-yard Mahomes scramble at the Kansas City 31-yard line. It's 10:22 to play, and they keep the offense on the field, and that play ends with a pass incomplete targeting Rashee Rice that got snuffed out by Houston's defense. Immediately, Houston takes over, goes 6 plays, 31 yards for a touchdown. And Connor Collinsworth said it on the telecast, and I kind of agreed, in a game where these defenses are playing so hard. I don't understand, and I know the analytics, and I hope that's not what the decision was made by. I don't think Reed's that type of a coach necessarily. The analytics said go for it in that spot, but why give your defense that bad situation when they're probably going to get you the ball back and you could live for another day, because the defense seemed to let down there?
He might have had a play call he liked. In that first one, I'm going to have to look at the all 22 tape on it and actually see kind of the full field perspective. But I thought he missed his first read, because it was Hollywood Brown, I think, that came in the backfield on the motion and then went towards the sideline. I think he had him for a first down, which kind of goes back to, and that's why I like these games, right? They're a kaleidoscope. You saw that Kelsey drop before the interception as a drop. I saw it as a horrible pass that he had to turn his body backwards.
Not a great throw.
But a
catchable ball. Kelsey he would catch that 10 out of 10.
He's caught him before.
Yeah, Kelsey's caught it before. Yeah, but I think that, I think that there's just those games where it's like maybe you have a bad night of sleep or something like that, or whatever it is. But I thought he missed a read on that. I thought it was a good play call, but that was just me.
And Dan, on the Rice one, like that also, the Derek Stingley part of that was a great breakup. I mean, I do wonder in games like this, it's cold, you're getting your butt kicked physically. Like, does it start to get into the head of your targets if you're Patrick Mahomes? Because they're taking some of the biggest vicious hits they've taken all season. There's got to be a little bit of a mental component there. They were not sharp.
Yeah, and we've seen it time and time again this year. This game actually won't end with it being characterized as another one-score loss, because Houston hits the late field goal after the Kelsey drop turned into the pick. But yeah, the hitting in this game and the form tackling was just incredible to watch. And Kansas City, which I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see how Brett Veach and Andy Reid, I don't know if we're doing the obituary right now, but like how they go away and dream this all up again. Because before all those bad things happen, all the bad Mahomes interception, the 4 drops, the targets that weren't right where they needed to be. This team had 98 yards in the first half, and we're down 10-0 at the break. And their offense is simply not good enough to defeat a great defense anymore. And that's a big change in the way we view not just the Chiefs, but the whole of the NFL, because they've been the big baddie for so long.
And then what happens, right? I mean, do you lose some of your coaches who have been maybe staving off some opportunities to stay on this dynasty? Do you lose some of the free agents that are like, hey, I was staying here because I was making the playoffs every year? Do you kind of get knocked down a peg because everyone wants to come to Kansas City to play for you guys and make the playoffs? You can't really just pick that low-hanging veteran fruit off the tree in free agency every year like New England did for all that time. And so I don't know, it could be consequential down the run for sure.
I do think, though, like to your point about like a sojourn year like the Patriots had, like I don't think it's the end of everything.
Right.
But it's the end of this season. And it kind of just, I think if anything, you don't want to live in illusion. You want to know what you are. And I think they're finding out what they are. And it's not good enough to go another 10 years like the Brady dynasty if you don't make some major changes.
I mean, Mahomes is still young. He's in his early 30s. Kelsey, this could be the end of his career. Obviously, we talked about Chris Jones earlier in the week, that he's getting up there and maybe isn't the same constant menace as he once was. They have to add pieces. The offensive line, which has been butchered by injuries this year, will they fortify that? That's all stuff we'll have time to talk about. But in the here and now, the team that's relevant that comes out of this is the Houston Texans, who were 0-3. Need I remind you again? And are now 8-5. They're riding a 5-game winning streak now. They get the Cardinals and Raiders.
Hello.
Arguably two of the worst teams in football over the next 2 weeks. They get the Chargers after that on the road, and then they get the Colts at home, the Riley Leonard Colts. So the Texans, I know that I'm not going to disrespect the Jaguars. We're going to get to the Jags later. The Jags deserve respect for what they've done in the last month or so now, but the Texans are very well set up to go from 0-3 to winning their division with double-digit wins, and that has not happened very often in NFL history. What a big night for DeMeco Ryans and his team. Any other thoughts before we hit the break and dig into the rest of... I
don't like this thought.
We had an old-fashioned lock-off between the Gravedigger and the Sizzler, and it's Gravy who comes out on top.
It doesn't feel right.
For anyone who missed it, Mark, obviously not on the Thursday preview show, but did submit via personally recorded selfie video his lock of the week. We posted it on the HTC socials on Sunday morning, revealing that Mark locked the Chiefs. Not even knowing.
Pig and shit right now, Mark. Can't you tell just this tone? Connor, his tone, right? He's loving it.
This is vintage Graver right now.
He doesn't even need, he didn't even need to give that deep background, but he loves every second of chewing on this steak bone as Sessler, burns alive.
And also, it's like the one time I locked the Chiefs after 10 years of perfectionism. This is what I get. I get this from the Chiefs. This is what they gave me. Are you kidding me?
Well, in fairness, they have been giving us a lot of signs that you could get that effort from them. We kind of talked about it on Thursday. And
I wasn't on Thursday's show, so I didn't get the message apparently. But
tough one.
And look, not all of our listeners and viewers are on social media at all. So I did think it was fair to give them the context that Mark. A lot of people probably didn't even know.
Chapter 2 of this.
That Mark
what are we doing here?
He's still giving deep background.
Anyway,
congrats.
Woodward and Bernstein and Gravedigger over here.
For the Gravedigger. Great win. Also, Chiefs AFC West reign ended the year. I put money on the Broncos to win the West. Give it to me.
Justin, we're going to have to turn your mic off the rest of the show.
You put a $9.
You've gone too far again.
You put a $9 ticket to win $51. So enjoy your Chipotle with extra protein.
All right, stay right there, and we get into the rest of Week 14. It was a good one. Here we go. Hey, Mark, have you heard of Gold Belly?
Yeah, from you, but I don't know if our listeners have heard about it.
Okay, for anyone who hasn't heard of Gold Belly, know this. I've been ordering from them for a while now, and honestly, it's kind of magical. Gold Belly gives you access to the most iconic, the most famous foods from restaurants all across the United States, and they ship them right to your door. It's perfect for the holidays, too. You should have seen how impressed my family was when we brought out a red velvet cheesecake from Junior's that I had ordered through Gold Belly. I think it was the first time my dad was truly proud of me. It completely stole the show.
Well, that's a positive story. I mean, yeah, it sounds great. I've always been a little skeptical, though, about ordering food online, right?
Me too, Mark. But from the moment our Gold Belly order arrived, perfectly packaged and tasting exactly like it would, straight from the bakery, I was blown away. The quality was incredible, and seeing everyone's faces when we dug into it reminded me why food food, Ceci, can create such unforgettable memories. This year, I'm eyeing Ina Garten's coconut cake for holiday hosting, and it's something that will make the season feel extra special and indulgent. I can't wait to share it with my fam.
Well, this holiday season, if you're looking for that perfect gift for everyone on your list, or you want to impress your friends and family with an unforgettable meal and make hosting a holiday gathering a breeze this year, go to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code HTC. That's goldbelly.com, code HTC for 20% off your first order.
All right, welcome back. Before we get into the rest of the games, a reminder that Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, Holiday Touchdown, a Bills love story, a live rewatch exclusive for the Heededness on patreon.com/heed the call. This is your chance to be along as we dig into one of the great films maybe ever made. Holiday Touchdown. I don't know what it means. What is a holiday touchdown? We don't know. A Bills love story. We never figured out what that slogan was either. What was the slogan?
Go for 4.
Go for 4. Oh, we meant to write an email about that to try to help the marketing of the film. Didn't get around to it. It's been busy. But live watch along with the 4 of us and then some other special guests. Make sure you're there Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And a reminder, we also have the Heed the Call merchandise. Official merch is out, and with the holidays right around the corner now, make the order now so you can get it in time for Christmas. All right, without further ado, let's get into the rest of the games. And as we always do, Cessdog is going to kind of set the table by giving us a theme of the week for week 14.
Yes, and my theme of the week is called, Oh Yes, I'm the Great Pretender.
Oh yes, I'm the Great Pretender. Okay, Connor, I'm going to, well, you take a crack at this one.
I didn't know if it was a reference to one of my favorite songs by Jackson Browne. I doubt it. Mark's always a little bit deeper and a little bit harder to predict here. So I'm wondering if it's that teams that built up the facade of toughness are starting to show signs of weakness.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. I believe it's also, yes, an Enya deep cut, which would have been in line with some of Mark's musical tastes.
That makes sense.
Mark?
It's I believe a Platters song as well, but yes, Connor, you said it perfectly. I came out of the early window feeling like teams like the Ravens, and through catastrophe the Colts, and even my Bucks, and to some degree the Bengals, right, like have started to just fall off the side of reality at this point. Like we can't keep making arguments for them.
So it's a little bit of a twist on the old Sessler theme once more. Knocking teams away, focusing things in on a smaller amount of teams, so we can just take this more seriously.
You're not wrong about that, because there's always that focus. But I do think this was a decisive 3 to 4 hours that put a couple teams to bed. That had they each of those teams won, we would be thinking very differently about their fortunes.
Okay, all right. I think you're right. I think a couple teams took dirt naps, certainly in the AFC. Let us start, though, with an absolutely stellar affair at Lambeau Field. Caleb Williams, you almost did it. But instead, we still have questions. Oh, yes. The Green Bay Packers welcome the Bears into town. And, this is what it's all about. This is the type of rivalry that makes the NFL tick. The NFC North, cold, single digit with the wind chill conditions. Two teams just going at it. And at the end of the game, a taut back and forth affair. It came down to Kayson Nixon with a game-sealing interception of Caleb Williams in the end zone, when it looked like the Bears are about to pull within one, and you get a feeling that Ben Johnson had a 2-point conversion he couldn't wait to call, but instead it stays in his pocket. The Packers win 28-21. The Packers improve to 9-3 with one tie, and the Bears boys go from the first seed all the way down to the 7th seed because of that interception by Caleb Williams. Connor, wow, what a swing.
Amazing. And this capped off what was maybe the best half of Bears football that we've seen all year. They were down and played absolutely lights out in the third and the fourth quarter. Caleb Williams had like an adjusted completion percentage of almost 90. And it was literally that one play. He reverted to old Caleb Williams for 1 second. That read was there. If he had thrown it 2 seconds earlier, he also had another option that he could have thrown to. He could have run the ball. Ben Johnson could have also run the ball. But so I think other than that, like they have to leave a little bit with their heads held high. And the fact that this is like a real rivalry now, like Bears Packers rocks. This is awesome.
Yeah, you said it right, because I feel like we have been told by NFL historians and broadcasting contingents that the Bears-Packers rivalry is the most special in the NFL. And I've never felt that way. Today is the best Bears-Packers game I've ever watched. I mean, it finally transformed and became that today.
52-16. The Packers were 52-16 in this game heading into today. That's
yeah, and it doesn't actually become a rivalry until both teams are hitting each other like Rocky and Apollo. Like that's when it becomes a rivalry. But for the first time, it does feel like the Bears are there. And if these teams do meet again in January, it's not going to be like, well, something inevitable is going to happen. It felt like Chicago. Again, I'm actually getting annoyed now as I think about it. Ben Johnson was going for 2 there, right? I wonder if they asked him about it.
Brady was like saying the same thing. Absolutely, right?
Especially a guy like him who just revels in nerding it up and building out plays like that. It was all there, and that's the only thing that would have taken this game from where it was, which was a great game, to a potential classic in the rivalry. But yeah, it was. I thought the Packers, I think, were the better team. I think the better team won this game, and I thought Jordan Love again played at a very high level. That Josh Jacobs' touchdown run tells you so much about him. Christian Watson, as we've been saying on the show, Watson has a chance to really step up and carve out a real role in this offense. He has 4 catches, 2 of them for touchdowns, 90 yards. He's a big-time player on this team and a big contributor. And, the interception, Nixon got beat. I mean, Cole Kmet is behind him, and if the quarterback makes a better throw, we're having a totally different conversation. And Keyshawn Nixon has also gotten his share of criticism for his play this year in the Green Bay secondary. And after the game, he wanted you to know that he doesn't care what you think about him.
I don't care. I do this shit for me, everybody else. Excuse my language, but I am who I say I am, and I always tell myself that, and I come on the field and play like that. But that's just a play. I gotta keep making them.
Speaking of Rocky analogies, that's a very like Ivan Drago, I fight for me move by Nixon. But you know what? He was the hero of the game because you never know what could have happened if they get that touchdown. I think when I was a very floating away high school player, they put me at cornerback because I was small, right? And you learn at cornerback that like the thing they just told you over and over is like, you got to accept that you're going to look bad all the time and bounce back from it. And I think it just matters how you come back from critique and criticism. And I love what he said right there. And this Packers team a couple weeks ago, it's like they're a bit of a mystery, and I don't feel it right now. And you nailed it. It's Christian Watson growing into this very unique player. Jordan Love making incredible throws today. The throw to Bo Melton especially, I just thought it was like, there aren't that many quarterbacks making some of these throws, and he overcame an early mistake, and Josh Jacobs fits so well that like this team is built for December and into January football.
I want to draw attention to the fact though that this is so wild. When the Bears scored that Colson Loveland touchdown in the fourth quarter with like 8 minutes to go and really brought the game to this competitive peak. The key read on that was like a tackle eligible. Like Ben Johnson said after the game, he was going for a fat guy touchdown. That guy gets illegally cut blocked. And the play was so well designed that Colston Loveland, your first round pick rookie tight end, is wide open on the other end of the formation. This guy has answer on top of answer. And I do wonder, because there was the very terse, there was the post game handshake and that was it. None of the coaches really addressed it afterwards. But I do wonder if that's why LaFleur is not clapping back, because he does realize that he has a worthy adversary here. Like these are going to be real games.
They'll meet again too, I think.
Referring to the Ben Johnson opening press conference conversation about wanting to beat LaFleur twice. Well, he beat him in this game. And yeah, that's, I think, the frustration for Caleb Williams, or in the Caleb Williams conversation here, is like, you know, the way he put it together in the second half. There's 17-play touchdown drive in the fourth quarter. That play, like what you pointed out there, Connor, is dead on. The thing I also took from that play was, yeah, it looked like a play intended for the tackle eligible guy. That gets blown up, and he doesn't panic. Caleb Williams is like, okay, I'm going to my second read quickly, and just floats one right there to Loveland for the touchdown. It just seemed like this was going to be the real Caleb Williams moment in his young pro career, and instead it's a very frustrating game. And you see him, they did a nice job. Fox had the shot of him taking his helmet off and kind of just yelling to the football gods that he let that opportunity get away. Here is Caleb Williams on the feeling in the locker room after coming so close.
Yeah, it's frustration, just because we shot ourselves in the foot, I think, more than anything, and so. I think that's where the frustration comes from. We had a great shot early in the game with the interception. Defense doing a good job, and then we kind of let them get going, and they put up some points on the board, and we had to try and rally it. And it's not always going to work in our favor. And we work our tail off to try and not have these situations. But when the situations do come, we gotta try and go make plays and try and come back and make the right plays to seal the win.
Connor, they lost the game, but I actually feel better about the Bears after this.
I feel better about the Bears, and I feel much better about the Packers' situational defense, too. And I think that was a big thing for them, too. I mean, Kingsley had a massive run stuff. Like, I've never seen a running back in such close quarters. Like, it wasn't quite the Jadeveon Clowney South Carolina hit, but that reverberated through the stadium. That was a big hit that put the Bears in an uncomfortable fourth down position, and you wanted to see Green Bay make some of those big interior run stuffs like that too. So I thought with both teams, felt better about the Bears, much better about the Packers. They're going to see a boost in the power rankings this week for sure.
I'm really with you, Dan, like the sense that this was a costly loss in terms of where you are in playoff position standings, but like you're aware now if you're Chicago that you can play with Green Bay. And I think I do think they're going to meet again. And I think this was a big step forward for the Chicago Bears experience under Ben Johnson, even in a loss.
Man, I thought I had this one. I locked the Packers because I thought they were going to win a tight one-score affair at Lambeau between two evenly matched rivals. Only the desert banged me by making it 6.5 points or whatever the hell it was. So I had to double the spread. So I get the loss. But you know what?
Pretty spot on spread, though, looking at the final score.
It's a tough lock.
Shut up. Good point, you dick. Yeah. But, it was, that's a great game. And that's a great rivalry. But now the Bears have to win a couple. Okay, let's move on to another great rivalry in the AFC between the Bengals and the Bills. Oh, man. Oh, man, oh, man. This is what it's all about. This is what I like. Two Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the prime of their career playing in the snow in December. Each guy slinging it. Somebody's got to lose. And unfortunately for Joe Burrow, it's usually Cincinnati that comes out on the wrong end of it, because Cincinnati coughs up a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter of this game, and it was Burrow's 2 interceptions in 2 series that really swung the game. The Bills, behind an unstoppable Josh Allen, cash in on those Cincinnati mistakes with scores, and it's the difference in a 39-34 win. Buffalo improves to 9-4 with a huge showdown and a rematch against the Patriots up next, while the Bengals now 4-9. There will be no miracles. And it's like, it's so spot on. It's so spot on that this would be how Cincinnati's season ends, essentially, with Burrow playing lights out with the announcers now getting into the conversation points midway through the fourth quarter when the game seemed like it was in hand for Cincinnati. Like, they're actually going to be favored in the rest of their games down the stretch. And you're watching that rock fight between Pittsburgh and Baltimore, and you're saying this is going to be a potential 9-win division. Like, it was all there for Cincinnati, but they never quite can put it together. And I guess the one difference in this game was that it was Burrow that was at some, at fault in some ways. It was the big swing of the game was after the Bills cut the lead back down to single digits. Burrow drops back to pass. He tries to float one, I believe, to Jamar Chase, and Christian Benford perfectly times it, snags the pass, comes down. Burrow makes an attempt to tackle him. He can't, and Benford goes for the touchdown. And shockingly, and it was a great job by CBS, the crowded shot of everyone in Buffalo being like, holy shit, we're winning all of a sudden. And then on the next possession, the next Burrow throw, it's deflected at the line of scrimmage and intercepted. And it has to be so frustrating for Bengals fans, for Joe Burrow, for Zach Taylor, that Burrow, other than those two passes, Sessy, was magnificent again, just the best player in football. And yet, when the game ends, he is bested. Those two interceptions killed the team. And then on top of it, he didn't even end up being the best quarterback in this game because Josh Allen looked like the MVP again and played one of his greatest games. Just an amazing football game in Orchard Park.
Yeah, and the Christian Benford tip and pick was an act of absolutely beautiful athleticism. I mean, it was a rare play, and that's the second game in a row he's had a touchdown. And it's like, whenever they cut to Burrow on the sideline and you can see him steaming, I totally get it. We all get it because there's no room for him to make an error on this team. And it's like, because it's like globally, each time he returns from an injury or in any situation, they've got to win out and win every other game to possibly make the playoffs because they're a perfect berserker team. They could beat anyone in the league. But now they can't make the playoffs. And like, if you're Burrow, it's like if you're going to get into a rut in a game where because we've seen Josh Allen do this, but they'll find a way to survive as a team. Like if Joe Burrow has 2 killer turnovers after playing what was probably one of the best football games we've seen by a quarterback all year, they're cooked because you can't really rely on anyone else on the other side of the ball to pick this team up. So it's a very frustrating. I just wonder again this offseason, like what the storyline will be around the Bengals in terms of their tone and stuff. You've got one of the best quarterbacks we've ever watched and their season melts down and we can say it's on him. And I see what you mean because those turnovers killed them. But like when you're going to go face a team like the Bills and there's no room for error for your quarterback, like that's just an impossible NFL environment to be in.
He made one of the best throws to Khalil Shakir that I've seen all season in the snow, off platform, off schedule. And it really negates everything that you think about your typical cold weather game. Because going into it, it's a lot of, we're going to check the ball down. We're going to depend on a defense to miss a lot of tackles. It's going to be a lot of short passes to the running back. Both of these quarterbacks stretch the field today, and especially Allen with those just critical touch passes in big moments. And then I don't know why Cincinnati's run blitzing him, but when they do, he just blows out of there for 50 yards. It was surreal.
I think, not to bring up an old wound, Justin, from your teen years, but there was a Patriots 59-0 win, I think it was, in the snow. Was it in the snow? Am I remembering this correctly?
Yes, you are.
And people were like, after the game, Tom Brady was asked, like, I can't believe, you're able to do this in the weather. And he's like, well, snow never bothers me. Snow is not something that's going to slow down an offense as much as, wind and rain do. And so, like, this still was a shootout, despite the fact that it was a pretty heavy snow coming down at one point, and it stayed on the field. I thought that play, that throw from Allen to Shakir, was one of 3 things that won the 3 moments that won this game for the Bills. That situation was a big one because they were down 14-3, facing 4th and 4. This is about midway through the second quarter, and it looked like the game was getting away from him. And there was no business that play getting to where it got because Cincinnati had snuffed it out. But how Allen can buy time, move around in the pocket, get out of the pocket, step through a guy, and then somehow get a ball between 3 defenders for a touchdown is incredible. So that's one big moment. The other big moment, I'm going to give some credit to Sean McDermott. When this game is a 4-point game, and they have a chance to kick a field goal. And it was just 3 minutes to play in the third quarter on 4th and goal from the Cincinnati 3. He keeps them on the field. He keeps the offense on the field. And he sees what we all see, which is if they kick a field goal here, Burrow's just going to go right down the field. And then you're just holding on for dear life. So instead, he leaves the offense out there. And what happens? He completes the touchdown to the backup tight end, Hawes. And that was another huge and a gutsy decision and the right move, because what happens? The Bengals go right down the field and score a touchdown. And then the third play was, again, Josh Allen, who also in this game had his longest career rushing touchdown, 40 yards in this game. 3rd and 15. And this is what Burrow is like. I know I wasn't perfect in this game, but I was almost perfect. 3rd and 15. Get off the damn field. And what do? A 3rd and 15. They give up a first down, 20-yard scramble by Allen to end the game. So Allen always stepped up, and Cincinnati is always just on the wrong side of these shootouts. And last note on this, boys, and I'll throw it to you for the final thoughts. The Bengals have played 8 shootouts, and that's classified as when both teams score at least 30 points. Since the beginning of last year, they are 1-7 in those games. 1-7. 1-7. All right. Well, I'll throw it to Deion Dawkins.
When that kid runs and jumps over people and runs through people, it's amazing, man. And this is our farewell tour in the stadium, so Josh moving them hind legs, bro, that's what the people want to see. That's what it gets us to win, man. Josh being Josh, the O-line being the O-line, the guys being the guys, my brother, for sure.
Absolutely, and you mentioned the kids here. Yeah. They are chanting MVPs. They're enjoying the snow. You look like a kid slamming the ball after every touchdown. What is it like to be able to spike the ball for you and take the joy of these moments as an offense?
It's more so the snow angels, man. Spiking the ball and doing snow angels with the guys, man. So don't be in a rush to get older. Stay young. Keep the kid mindset while being a man.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good advice, Deion. Here's Joe Burrow after the loss.
Yeah, obviously we're not where we want to be as, a team or an organization. 4-9 is not good. That's how the cookie crumbled this year. Obviously I would have loved to have been out there more and be able to make an impact, but that wasn't the case.
It's like a random thought, but when the Mets built their new stadium and they had like Jose Reyes and all those fast players, and they made the outfield fence like 900 feet away so they could get a bunch of extra base hits. The Bills can never not have a stadium that lets in like gale force snowfall when Josh Allen is the quarterback, because when they have like 11 players involved in the run game and Josh being that 11th guy, it's such an advantage over another drop back quarterback, even if it's Burrow. And we saw that on Sunday. It's like, it's such a shame for them. They probably won't get home field advantage, because that is like the consummate home field advantage.
Yeah. And even if, Burrow isn't forever, even if Allen isn't forever on the field, give that stadium, in his honor, do it that way. That's what they did with Babe Ruth in Yankee Stadium. That's why they built the short porch that they still have to this day, to take advantage of this generational player. Allen is so special. And I was having a conversation with my sons and their buddies after the game about who's the MVP of the league. I think Allen's back in the race, which nobody's talked about. But these games are... Whoa, he is
quarterback-wise, he is.
Yeah. All right, let's move to Baltimore, where Lamar Jackson will not be in any MVP conversations. Will the Ravens even be in the playoffs? I don't know. If Sessler gets his dream, they won't.
I have many dreams.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are the latest team to go into M&T Bank Stadium and deliver a message. With a 27-22 win over the Ravens, Aaron Rodgers threw for 284 yards and a touchdown. Even ran for a touchdown. He never did that for the Jets. It might have been his best game with the Steelers. And Pittsburgh, who let's be real, we all wrote off 2 weeks back as being also Rans. And we were playing the fire Tomlin chants and all that stuff. Instead now, the Ravens once again show how mortal they are this season, and the Steelers are in the driver's seat in the AFC North with the Bengals now dead and buried. What a weird year it's been.
They did something which I wish the Steelers would do more, and because it's worked before. They opened the game with an Aaron Rodgers 52-yard laser to DK Metcalf. Like, cool, explosive plays. Let's try that more often with DK Metcalf, who has come and gone in these games. It was the best game I've seen Rodgers play with the Steelers, unquestionably. Like, he hadn't thrown for over 200 yards in over a month in any of these games, and it looked like it, right? Like, that's how their offense looked. It looked different today. Jalen Warren had a big catch and run touchdown, and there's still like a bit of a plotting operation, but try that more and more. Go for the explosive plays. Rodgers can still make those throws. He was a little more escapability. He had a little more escapability today than in weeks past too. And it matters that when you are playing a Ravens team that ran for over 200 yards, if we told ourselves on Saturday the Ravens will rush for over 200 yards, they're winning this game. But Lamar Jackson is like 65% of himself right now. Physically just not there. And it looks that way. And they also lack, I think, like a money wide receiver that is a dominant kind of like scheme changing guy that defenses have to pay attention to. And when you pack that into Lamar's physical situation right now, it's just a very beatable team. And it's the Ravens are not special at anything at the moment. And the Steelers might not be either, but this was such a quintessential Mike Tomlin type win. He has more wins over Harbaugh than any coach has over any other coach since this turn of the century. I mean, it's like Mike Tomlin a week ago, everyone's saying we should fire this guy, and I get where they're coming from, but this was a classic Steelers win when most people probably thought it would go the other way.
All right, let's listen to Aaron Rodgers on what this win means after a week of noise around him and the head coach.
Means maybe you guys will shut the hell up for a week.
That's fair. That is absolutely fair. And yeah, Connor, the Ravens are not the Ravens this year, but it is, because that is even against the compromised Baltimore team. That was a great job by Tomlin having these guys ready. They outplayed the Ravens this entire game and almost got away from them in the end, but they made the stand in the end as well. And we can get into how they maybe got a little fortunate as well. But the Steelers got it done, and they deserve credit for that. Go ahead, Connor. Try to take it away.
Got the game-winning touchdown just taken off the board. The guy got 2 steps down. And then all of a sudden now we're required to make like a balletic third maneuver to ingrain the touchdown. Like, this is ridiculous.
Let's talk about that, because I agree with you on this. So if you're not aware,
there's an identical touchdown that the Steelers scored against the Packers on October 25th that stood as a touchdown. It's identical.
Yes.
Well, Romo called it absolutely a touchdown, and then it started to get murky.
Well, then it's not. If Romo said it almost certainly isn't. But
doesn't help.
No. So here's the issue. And by the way, from the guy who brought you my big toe was out of bounds in the season opener of 2024, Isaiah Likely. He now brings you, I caught the ball, got 2 feet in the end zone, and I still didn't score. This is absurd. This is, again, the NFL. We've been talking about this forever. Chris Wessling used to have rants about this on ATN. The NFL doesn't know what a catch is. All I know is I've been watching this game for 25, 30 years, and when you break the plane, the goal line with the ball could be knocked out of your hands to Mars. As long as the ball crosses the plane of the goal line and you have it possession, it's a touchdown. This rule that they have is that you now have to catch it. You have to get 1 foot down. You have to get 2 foot down. That to me is equal to crossing the plane of the goal line with the football. And yet they have this fakakta addition to it, which maybe makes sense when it's outside the boundaries of the end zone, which is you have to catch it, you have to get 2 feet down, and then put your third foot down for a football move. But when you're in the end zone and you have possession with 2 feet down, the play's over. Here is the statement by, and get a load of this fucking guy, Mark Butterworth, NFL Vice President of Instant Replay. The receiver controlled, give me the missive music on this, Justin. The receiver controlled the ball in the air, had his right foot down, then his left foot down. The control is the first aspect of the catch. The second aspect is 2 feet or a body part in bounds, which he did have. Then the third step, none of this should matter. It should already be touchdown. Then the third step is an act common to the game, and before he could get the third foot down, the ball was ripped out. Therefore, it is an incomplete pass. And you know what, Connor? If this happened in the playoffs, the rule would be changed. This is the other thing that drives me crazy about the NFLs and how rule changes happen. They don't give a shit if it happens in December, November, October, or September. The timing has to line up in January for the rule to change. And since it didn't, we'll be dealing with this again next year, or maybe until it happens in the AFC title game.
Not like working for Dan when he just changes the fucking rules every week when he feels like it. But all right. Two quick points on this, because you agreed with me, and then that lowered my temperature about this Tomlin bullshit, which is it's still going to be a thing. Like, the Steelers are going to finish with 9 wins and get blown out in the wild card round of the playoffs, and Mike Tomlin's still going to be Mike Tomlin. That conversation is going to exist, and one victory over the Ravens that shouldn't have been, and there's a couple questionable calls in this game, doesn't change that.
Connor, I'm not saying give him an extension. I'm just saying it's a nice win for the team, and with
it's
a lot of
Steelers type
heat
win
around them. Yeah. Here he is giving the kiss to you, Connor, specifically. He's like, I know you wanted to write my obituary, but you can't yet.
I did.
And Connor, I would imagine that you're also pointing to, there was a play where Aaron Rodgers throws the ball, it's tipped, he catches his own tipped pass, and is crumpled by like a group mass of enemies. And he goes to the ground, and it looks like from one angle that his knee touched the ground, but it's unclear if he had already lost the ball at that point. There was a lot of good camera work on this, but it was unclear. And Harbaugh went absolutely nuts over this play because he believed, and I think he was right potentially, that it was a recovered fumble by the Ravens.
Yes.
And then this likely thing happened after. Harbaugh was about to punch about 14 people in the face. It was an officiating disaster from that angle.
His face was so good too, because like sometimes you're like, oh, what's he saying? I can't tell. He was pointing to an official square in the face and saying, you are wrong. You are wrong. And he was. I mean, this whole thing was just a disaster.
So that happens with 2:47 to go in the fourth, and this is my last thought on the game. And it's about the Ravens and why the Ravens, just to your point, Mark, they're not special this year. They're just a flawed team, and they're not going anywhere. That was on 1st and 10 from the Pittsburgh 13. Then on 2nd and 10, they have an 8-yard completion to Derrick Henry. It's 3rd and 2. It's 3rd and 2 with 2:32 to play in the fourth quarter at the Pittsburgh 5-yard line. Derrick Henry, loss of 3. Lamar Jackson targets Mark Andrews, incompletion, turnover. The Steelers played way too conservative in their last drive. They go 3 and out, including stopping the clock with a terrible pass short of the sticks that's incomplete. So the Ravens get the ball back, 1:56 to play with a timeout. So they get 2 chances, 2 cracks at it. They go 9 plays for 36 yards and time runs out. They don't even get into the red zone. And it's a credit to Pittsburgh because they had a stiff upper lip all week and then stiffened up their backbone in a big spot at the end of this game. But the Ravens not being the Ravens is something that's hard to get used to, but it is now a reality.
They're not making the playoffs. See you later.
Well, here's the thing, though. The Steelers aren't very good either.
Well, also the division. The division
and now the
is a
Bengals
disaster.
are gone. So now here we are in a situation where be careful, Mark, about writing off the Ravens because the Ravens can make the playoffs and not be good.
I'm wish casting, but you're right. It will be somewhere different a week from now. I get it.
All right, let's take a break and we continue to roll on. Hey, Sess Dog, how's your Christmas shopping going? Have you even started, Mark?
Well, no, I've not gotten going on that. I should.
Yeah, well, I'm all set over here. But if you're like Mark, still hunting for the right gift, I got you covered. Aura Frames. It's the gift that makes it look like you planned it all along. Thoughtful, personal, and easy. Basically, the holiday trifecta.
Yeah, I always struggle to find a truly personal gift for the people closest to me. It's like it has to be meaningful, but not another useless item that ends up in someone's closet. Don't have time for that.
Exactly, Mark. That's what's so great about Aura Frames. Last year, I gave an Aura frame to my parents, Deb and Keith. They absolutely loved it. I preloaded it with a bunch of family photos, some vacation shots, even a few funny ones of the kids. Now it sits in their living room, rotating through memories all day long.
So you're telling me you can preload the pictures, the photos before it ships?
That's exactly what I'm telling you, Mark. And you can keep adding new ones anytime from anywhere. Plus, every frame comes in a premium gift box with no price tag, so it's beautiful right out of the box. You can't wrap togetherness, but you can frame it.
Well, you've sold me, Dan, and for a limited time, You can save on that perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code HEEDTheCall at checkout. That's AURAFrames.com, promo code HEEDTheCall, all one word, no spaces.
This deal is exclusive to our hedonists, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support our show by mentioning us at the checkout. Terms and conditions apply. You know what the holidays mean in my house. Well, you don't live in my house, but you can understand. It's chaos. There's shopping, hosting, gifting, and about 1,000 little things in between. But I've learned to make it easier on myself at Bob's Discount Furniture. I love gifting, and honestly, why not go big this year? Forget about another candle.
Right.
Get a power reclining sofa for just $9.99, which honestly, that's insane. That's a great deal. They've got those sploosh chairs for kids. I know Sessler has one on his mind for himself. I also, I'm a Bob's guy. I got 2 outdoor rocking chairs and also got this storage bed for the bedroom. We have space issues at our house, Mark, and having the storage bed, I can put a bunch of stuff under the bed and forget about it forever, which is my goal.
No, it's ideal for your type of household situation. There's some incredible items here, and if you're looking to freshen things up before the guests arrive, there are tons of smaller items too. Stylish decor, accent pieces, the works. Whether you're gifting, hosting, or just trying to make your space holiday ready, you can do it all without the stress. Shop, haggle, and hassle-free when you holiday the Bob's way.
Bob's way, baby! All right, welcome back. Let's get back into it. Oh, gee, this has got Graver written all over it. I didn't catch this, but he's got Titans Browns way up in the rundown. So I guess we'll hit that next.
It's the next closest game of the day.
Okay, Justin.
Oh boy.
Huge ramifications.
Holy shit. Feel free to fast forward to a relevant game, and then you can double back.
Why is
at
this
the
so
end.
high?
Should we audible out of this? Should we do
Every
a
other
quad
game
box
was-
violation?
Yeah, can I quad box this?
Yeah, let's put this a violation. We're dropping this.
What?
Well, you walked into this, Justin.
Look
This
at
is
the
a
rest of the
this
games.
I'm sorry. Fire it up. It's a quad box violation, Justin Graver.
Oh my god.
To say that this
Bye-bye.
game is more important than Colts
Nice
Jags
try.
is malpractice.
Jeez.
It's not more important, but it was way more fun.
Okay. Justin?
Colts Jags was miserable. I know, I covered it.
Justin?
Enjoy your autonomy, Justin. It's shining through at the moment.
Don't mind me. I'm just doing some emergency surgery on the rundown. All right.
It isn't even a quad box related, but okay. This is the game that should have been in the quad box as our fourth
To
pick.
Jacksonville we go. Look, he's got the Jags buried in the rundown. Outrageous.
They were 2 games later after a crazy upset and this fun game, but okay.
It's like a staff meeting the listeners are enduring.
Phew, dodged a bullet there. All right. Here's a game with huge ramifications in the AFC South. 2 teams that entered action tied in the division. So now we're going to talk about it. And it's the Jacksonville Jaguars who step up. And it's Trevor Lawrence playing like the guy they always wanted him to be. And it's Travis Etienne running for 2 touchdowns. And it's the Colts continuing a free fall that got somehow even worse. And we'll get to that in a minute. A 36-19 victory for the Jags. Sole possession of first place in the AFC South. Now 9-4. And Gravy. Gravy watched the game and he's like, let me bury this in the
This was a boring game. My 2
Gravy,
games were
Gravy,
horrible.
you have to. Let me just help you, Gravy. It's not always about whether the game was close or not. It's what does the game mean? How does it reflect on the league as a whole? And this in the AFC South, at least, admittedly not my favorite division. It's time to take the Jacksonville Jaguars a little bit seriously because this was a ass whooping against a Colts team that now also has lost its quarterback in Daniel Jones, who blew his Achilles in this game. Wow, it's a seismic shift in the AFC.
Yeah, and honestly, the Colts didn't look up for this matchup. And maybe it was losing their quarterback early that just took the wind out of their sails. But I actually thought Riley Leonard had some moments where I was like, okay, Shane Steichen can probably work with this, like some pre-snap, like recognition and adjustments and making good throws. And he was kind of let down by teammates, like bobbling the ball as they're making sideline catches and not completing the process and stuff like that. But overall, I was very impressed by Jacksonville. Like, I thought Jacksonville really came to play and took it to the Colts in this game in a way that I mean, we've seen it in spurts at random moments, like when they blew out the 49ers at home earlier this year. But in this game, with this kind of stakes, with the division basically up for grabs here, I was really impressed. I thought Trevor Lawrence played one of his better games this season. They were able to run the ball. Travis Etienne was running through this defense, weaving through for long touchdowns. Like, this was a really impressive showing from Jacksonville.
You know who else was impressed by this performance? Head coach Liam Cohen.
That's how y'all set that. Oh, these are the moments. These are the moments, and we rose to the occasion. Every single one of you guys should be so freaking proud to go look yourself in the mirror tonight. Love you guys. How about our freaking quarterback?
The vibes are good in Duval, Connor.
Ever since he started wearing the plays on his wrist, he's unstoppable. Like, I think it's like 9 touchdowns, no interceptions, 65% completion rate, but it was how he was doing it. And this is the guy that, coming out of Clemson, we all thought we were going to get with regularity, right? Rolling to your left and making cross-body throws downfield, throwing to the sideline, deep in double coverage, and you're getting guys in stride. Like, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. This is who we pay to come see. Like, let's go.
I mean, I love seeing Cohen run that locker room that way and that fire and what he's getting out of Trevor Lawrence. And that was Trevor Lawrence's best game. And, you know, one thing that Cohen talked about, and this isn't a Mike Jones Athletic article, that he wanted the team, this entire team, instead of kind of shrouding them away from the media attention, to see how little attention they were getting, that they were disregarded as a group, that when we talk about the AFC playoff race, they were hardly even mentioned because they're down in Jacksonville, and that's what we think of the Jaguars. And Travis Etienne is one person who talked about this directly today.
I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like no one likes us except for us, you know, and I feel like it just goes along with just being in this organization, where the organization has been for quite some time now. So we're not going to get the respect. We kind of don't even care. As long as we know what we got inside the locker room and we can go out there and take it, you know. I mean, there's no better feeling than just being disrespected and having an extra chip on your shoulder, playing with an extra edge.
You know what? And usually I'll say I kind of dismiss that as malarkey when teams and players use that. You know, nobody believed in us and all that. Like, but with the Jags, it's been, I think, fair. I mean, I'll raise my hand. I've been very slow to come around on them as a team to take seriously, and maybe we're all being premature and now saying, Connor, that Trevor Lawrence is fixed. That now he's not going to be a guy that throws the ball for grabs anymore because he had 2 good games in a row. But when you look at this division, you know, Houston has a lot to be excited about if you're a Texans fan, so you keep an eye on them. But with the Colts going the direction they're going, the Jags have a chance to win this division, get a playoff game, and then they have pieces to go on a run, and they have a coach that the team believes in. So there is juice in Duval.
I mean, you don't want to take it all the way back to that, but you almost have to take it all the way back to that. Being willing to separate from the GM that you didn't want to separate from in order to get the head coach that you needed ended up being the biggest move that this franchise has made in like a decade.
Good point. On the Colts side, Justin, Daniel Jones drops back to pass in this game, collapses to the ground. It's a torn Achilles. It's the opposite leg of the broken fibula they had in the special Duke cast. And you have to wonder if there are some second thoughts going on behind the scenes in Indianapolis about letting this guy play. It's a terrible break. And even if Riley Leonard did play better than expected in this game, they appear to be sunk now with a 6th-round rookie at the controls.
Yeah, and to be clear, better than expected is a good way to put it, because he's still, I mean, final numbers average 5 yards per attempt, 145 passing yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns. Although he should have had a touchdown. He did run in a touchdown, and he had a touchdown that was like not completed the process of the catch or whatever. But yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones just like collapsing to the ground. You have to wonder, like, I had a buddy tweet and I retweeted, breaking, Colts playing a QB on a broken leg turns out to be just as bad an idea in reality as everyone thought it would be. It's like, yeah, I mean, what were you expecting? I don't know if it's directly related, but it feels extremely coincidental that it wouldn't be. Like, this seems like one of those Achilles injuries are almost always like this, where you have like some sort of injury on one of your legs and you're overcompensating the way you're displacing your weight, and then your Achilles ruptures, and it sucks for Daniel Jones. They said it's going to be like a 9-month recovery, which is going to put him right up against the start of next year. He's a free agent after this season. The Colts went all in on this year around him, trading 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner, who's also dealing with a calf/Achilles-ish kind of scary injury. And I don't know. It feels like the season's gone off the rails for Indianapolis. They also struggled to run the ball effectively today. They got stopped on their only fourth down attempt.
That's been going on for a month now.
And that's their only hope right now.
And it's like teams, because I think we talked about this recently, how we talked about earlier in the year, how teams were not daring how teams were like, Daniel Jones is not going to beat us. And now I don't know, like Daniel Jones threw a horrible interception before he got hurt in this game, like right to Devin Lloyd. And Devin Lloyd's back in the box score with some takeaways like he was doing at the beginning of the year. I don't know if I'm a Colts fan, I'm extremely concerned that we went all in for what's coming up bust, and who knows how you rebuild now, because you still, depending on how quickly Jones can get back on the field, Achilles can take like 2 years to get back to yourself. What are they going to do at quarterback next year?
I will say this, having watched a lot of Riley Leonard in my life.
I knew this is coming from the Notre Dame guy.
Yeah.
Here we go. Tell us why the 6th-round pick is going to stun us.
I think that he's not a throw-first quarterback. I think he had like 40 rushing touchdowns at Notre Dame. This was essentially an adjusted Army offense that Notre Dame was running when they made it to the national title game. That said, with him and Jonathan Taylor, if you're Shane Steichen and you have a good interior offensive line, I think you could probably do some interesting stuff. They definitely didn't have that quarterback run package put in for this weekend, but I know that there was a thought, especially when Anthony Richardson got hurt, of using him more in the red zone. This might be a chance to spread that out through a full field package. So just a thought.
I'd be very nervous. If I'm like a Jonathan Taylor fantasy owner, I'm very nervous about the playoffs now. It's going to be 13 guys in the box.
Correct.
It is an interesting opportunity with only 4 games left. Like, you can't sustain that kind of offense over a full season.
No,
but can you break it out randomly in week 15 and surprise your last 4 opponents with it? Possibly.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I figured out who Liam Cohen, I've been kind of fascinated by him every sound clip we've played. That line where he says, "That's how we set that shit off." I finally figured out who he reminds me of. It's Kenny. It's Stevie, Kenny Powers' buddy from Eastbound and Down. Here's a little clip of Stevie.
You're a big boy. From now on, you gotta clean up your own fixins.
There's a little bit there.
Fixins.
If you listen to Cohen, there's a little bit there.
I'm sure he would agree.
All right, let's move to... Are we moving to Browns versus Titans? Definitely not. To Tampa. Another game with implications. Implications matter. Tyler Shuck, man. Speaking of people, I'm going to start plugging in on him a little bit more. Tyler Shuck. He goes on the road to Tampa against the Bucs, who, by the way, sassy.
Well, yeah, I said at the top of the production, I'm not thrilled.
Ran for 2 touchdowns. And the Saints at 2-10 knock off the fading Bucs 24-20, tightening the division race in the NFC South. And after the game, the Saints, who entered this game as 8.5-point underdogs, were feeling pretty good about themselves. Here's Shuck afterwards.
That's my mindset, is just go out there. We can beat anybody. Whenever we're stalling out, we're beating ourselves. But I think that's why you play the game and knowing just how close we have been on some of those losses and how we can kind of flip it on its head and keep producing those big plays and get those wins.
Conor, I'll set it up this way, because the Saints, this is a really nice win, obviously, and we'll get into what happened in the game. But have the Saints found their quarterback? Are they going to roll with this dude? Has he shown enough to them, to you? What are your thoughts?
This was a perfect arena for Shuck, because he had the big touchdown run, and then there was that bonkers end of half scenario where both teams went for it on fourth down. Neither of them got it, and then there was the Hail Mary at the end of the half for Tampa Bay that didn't get home. But around that time, it started. There was the driving rain, and then the Saints got the running game going. The defense stepped up, and so I think this was like a really good, almost like Josh Allen in the snow. It was a really good place for Tyler Shuck to play well. It fit the run game. He ran the ball really well. Is he the quarterback of the future? I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I want to see him though. But I will say this, Dan, big game for me for a lot of reasons.
Let's get to what matters. Go ahead. Go on, King.
As you guys know, I've been a bald for quite some time, and we talked about on the Thursday show. One team is going to have a really stupid loss this weekend, and we pegged the Seahawks against the Falcons, and we pegged the Bucs against the Saints. And I want to just, sometimes I crawl under the YouTube and I look at the comments. Sometimes dangerous. You might control F your name here, and I just want to fly this up. Can someone read that for me, please?
I'll read it. You know what? Why don't you read it, buddy? Because you found it. And by the way, control effing your name is diabolical. I've never thought of that as an option, but wow. Okay, go ahead, buddy.
From Major Morgami, and it was 7 hours ago when he made the comment. So whenever that was, like on Friday morning, I saw it.
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
If the Saints beat the Bucs, I'll have all my hair cut off and donate it to Connor, one N, spelled that wrong. I do not appreciate that energy, con man. So I can't really enlarge the thumbnail here, but Major Morigami looks like a very hairy man, and I'm looking forward to it. So I don't know if we have a post box, but I'll fucking take it. Send it.
You got
Would
a
you
nice
want his
plastic bag of hair coming your way.
I would like it, please.
Did he say all of his hair? You want his like pubis region?
Don't care. Send it.
Sassy, like when Connor gets a win, he goes for it. He wants it all.
Major Morgami did say all my hair cut off.
Eyebrows.
All my hair,
Hits.
if you're talking about a human body, is all your hair.
Yep.
All right, let's so there you go. So that's the Saints side of things. The Bucs side of things. Whoa. I mean, what are we to take out of this, Connor? Because the Bucs have not been able to get it going. We've talked about it on the show. People kind of were sleeping on like it's more than injuries. This offense isn't the same. And I'm going to point out a player because I saw a lot of this on social media. Emeka Egbuka has been it's been a problem. That chemistry that everyone was going nuts about in September has completely disappeared. And with Mike Evans on the shelf and Godwin still working his way back, taking now that element of their offense out of it, I feel like that's been an unheralded element of their decline.
Yeah, what it was, Godwin, Otten, Egbuka, and Shepard. It was like 11 catches, but it was all very close to the line of scrimmage. The vertical element of this offense is completely gone. And you're wondering is Grizzard building something in for Mayfield? Because he threw the Hail Mary. He was not uncomfortable. It didn't look like he has been in weeks past. But is there something that they're seeing that they're not wanting? Was it a rain game, so you want to keep stuff close to the line of scrimmage? I don't know, but the vertical element of this offense has disappeared. It's a bad look.
And Egbuka had the drop in the end zone, which was uncharacteristic for Baker and him together as a connection. I mean, we're having a different conversation if Cade Otton isn't short on the fourth down to end the game.
Yes.
It's like, but your everything else is true, that the Bucs don't look like the way they did a month ago. I also know that Baker, he got treatment on his throwing hand early in this game. I wonder if that had any effect on the play calling or what they think they can do. But he battles through injuries every week, it feels like.
The Saints only had 260 total yards in this game, but the Bucs barely crossed 300, so not exactly a shootout. But the Saints get the win. I wonder if some Saints fans are a little annoyed about that because that drops them in the tankathon. But beating a division rival always has to feel good as Connor control effing his way to glory.
Big bag of hair.
All of the hair. All right, let's head to. Should we head to Tennessee, Cleveland?
I know what you're doing. It's crystal clear.
What?
We're gonna do.
We're gonna do
Cleveland
every
Titans
game that actually
last.
matters.
We're gonna do that last.
We get to the games that don't matter. No disrespect to you, Mark or Justin.
Well, we'll see how Justin and I feel about it. I think you can tell. But
so let's head to the Meadowlands, where the Miami Dolphins continued to surge. Another Conor Orr subplot unfurls. This entire podcast is just about like keeping score on wins and slights. Oh man, what a blowout! Because the Dolphins showed up to play football on Sunday, and the home team, the Jets, did not. Tua Tagovailoa led the team right down the field for a touchdown on the first drive. Did it again on the second drive, and by the end of it, it was an easy 34-10 win for the Dolphins, who win their fourth straight. And this was, listen, the Jets. A bad Jets day is as bad as any team in football. This was a bad Jets day. They get another big special teams play, a punt return for a touchdown by Isaiah Williams that briefly pumped a little bit of life into this game, making it 21-7. But they scored 3 points the rest of the way. Tyrod Taylor goes out with an injury in the first half. Brady Cook's the third-string quarterback. Whenever the third-string quarterback gets in the game, bye-bye. The game's going to suck. The other team's going to win, and that's what happened here. Connor, you are very pleased. You locked the Dolphins in this game, and you got the easy victory. I'm glad I didn't do a lock-off with you.
This was quite a Sunday for me, and everything continues to come up, Connor. I'm very, very pleased. This was another game that, dude, Mike McDaniel's like reinventing himself, and it's so awesome. Like, he is leaning on that run game. They were achieving first downs by like jet sweeping handoffs to Darren Waller, who's like 37 and was retired last year. They're finding openings in every which way. Achane looks awesome, and Tua, while he did make some good throws in this game, I'll give him credit for that. He's strictly a play action guy now. Like, unless it's ingrained in the run and it's married to something that they've already shown with Achane, Tua's not throwing it. And so this whole game, I thought, was just a masterpiece. I mean, they were up 21-0 before the Jets even blinked in this one. I
think it was like the total yards at one point was like 185-2.
Yeah,
in the first quarter. Yeah, I was really what took me, and I it doesn't change what I feel about the Dolphins, because I do feel like if they do get that last AFC seed, that's just going to be, you could ticket it for the most boring playoff game of the first round. But somebody's got to get the last playoff spot, and the Dolphins are playing at a level that they say, we could do this. I give credit. I'm watching the game. I'm like, I know the Jets suck, and now it's a third string quarterback. But Anthony Weaver's defense was locked in this game, and since week 10, they actually lead the NFL in points per game allowed. So this is a trend that has now continued over a significant stretch. Their run defense is especially good right now. They have those rookie defensive tackles that are stuffing the run. Breece Hall had nowhere to go, and once you took Breece Hall out of it and you were asking a rookie quarterback to throw to A.D. Mitchell and John Menchie and Mason Taylor, it wasn't happening. So they have a recipe here. Now, one thing there, Connor, Devon Achane goes out of this game with a rib injury and doesn't come back. I don't know where we're at with how serious that is, but you take him out of this offense, that's going to put a lot more back on the QB's plate, and I don't think that would go well.
Although Jalen Wright was also awesome in this game, and that touchdown run, I think Aaron Glenn said after the game, well, it's BS, whatever. You can't give up 234 rushing yards, but it's more than that. It's at the goal line. After seeing so many good goal line stands today and good goal line play in big situations, or even like 3rd and 4th and 1s, there was no effort from the Jets in those situations. Like, Wright was walking in, no one wanted a piece of him, and I don't know whether that says more about the Jets and where they're at, or the fact that like Wright can throw his weight around too. I like him a lot as a back.
I wonder if you get Mike McDaniel coming from the Shanahan system, where it's like, 18 different running backs could run for 100 yards in that offense. Like, it feels like it translates a little bit like with what you saw from Wright today. I got to say one thing, Dan, these Gotham City uniforms,
No good.
They're not doing it for me. The name is cheesy and the look is unappealing to the eye.
No good. I hope they don't move units and they scrap it. It should be stated that Mike McDaniel said after the game that the rib injury Achane suffered was not deemed to be serious. In fact, he could have went back in the game, but the game was out of reach. Anything else on this ball game? I have one more thing, Connor, but I'll let you go if you have something else.
You go. I want to hear.
Okay.
I want to hear this.
The Jets' interception-less streak continues, the historic streak. And I just want to, I wish I knew who the defensive back was, but I'm blanking on it right now. It was somebody deeper on their depth chart. But there was a play in this game where Tua drops back to pass. It gets deflected.
Yes.
And here it comes. It's coming right at this motherfucker. It's coming right at him. The streak is over. It's going to end. And I swear, I'm telling you, this guy sees the ball coming. He leaps as high as he can. And he does like a Mary Catherine Gallagher from SNL kick. And he like kicks the ball away from his hands. And I was just like, man, that's pretty cool. Like, to ensure the interception streak continues, you're now kicking the ball away from yourself. So good job, unnamed Jets secondary man who probably won't be there next year. Way to keep the streak, because I want the streak now. I want to go 17 without an interception.
And maybe it's a prized internal goal to set that, to have some sort of a record this season.
It seems counterintuitive because Aaron Glenn was actually a ball hawk as a cornerback when he was the head coach, or a star on the Jets years ago. But maybe there's something going on here. They're galaxy braining this thing, because that was suspicious. They also had one that looked like it was a backwards lateral near the goal line. And once again, a Jet got there first, and he was like, nah, never mind. And he did not grab it. So there appears to be an effort not to intercept passes by the Jets, who, if you're asking Jets fans, like, I like getting those wins. They're nice. So I'm not saying we should tank. But there is a part of me that's like, when they do lose, also, it's like, all right, let's calm this down. Let's not get too successful and win 6 games here. So we're edging our way back up. And by the way, the Giants on bye are now, they own the first overall pick, not the Tennessee Titans, who we'll get to many, many minutes from now.
2 weeks from now.
Let's head to Vegas. Subplot continues on Sunday, week 14.
Bite me.
Are you really rushing to get to that game, Mark?
Well, it's my game, so it's also like the Mark moment being pushed to the end. But some special things happened.
Let me try to help here.
Yeah.
You could look at it as like we're saving it for the grand finale.
I'll reframe my thinking and see it through that lens.
All right, to the desert. It was in the desert, right?
Yes.
Yes, where the Denver Broncos had a layup. It is the Raiders, the team that has not been competitive for most of the season. And they really were not very competitive in this game either, even though the score looks like a one-score game, which it was 24-17. That was lipstick on the pig. The Broncos kind of controlled this one. Bo Nix threw for 212 yards, rushed for a touchdown, and the Broncos win their 10th straight, improved to 11-2 as they continue their bid, Sessy. The stage is yours, Mark. They continue their bid for the top seed in the AFC, and maybe, just maybe, not to fall out of Sessler's top 10 in the power rankings. The stage is yours.
This was a game that made me believe in the Broncos. I know it's the Raiders. Let me tell you why. I know it's the Raiders, so you throw it all out the window. But you can always tell when an analyst has gotten a certain nugget from a coach. And I know we've got some Sean Payton issues on this show. I get that. But Charles Davis, our old coworker, talked early on about Sean Payton wanting to play, in this game specifically, Bill Parcells football. And you know what kind of games I love. Here are 3 drives that they scored on. A 14-play, 81-yard, 9-minute touchdown drive to open the game. Then another 14-play, 86 9-minute touchdown drive to keep adding the hurt on the Raiders, and then a field goal drive that went 19 plays for 85 yards and over 10 minutes. And it did look to me the way that when we discovered football back in the day and you're watching those boring Giants 10-7 games, and I picked the Browns, I'm like, I'm not doing this Bill Parcells Giants team that wins in a windy, gusty condition with a 10-7 win. It looked like Otis Anderson and Dave Meggett. It was RJ Harvey today. They were very precise. They were brutal, and it looked like Sean Payton was paying homage to Bill Parcells, and I just enjoyed watching it. I know it's the Raiders, but they went in there and pummeled them physically. The score looks nothing like what this game looked like to the eye.
Evan.
Go ahead,
Bo Nix is playing under center now. That's wild. Like, I think most of his snaps I didn't see all of it, but weren't most of his snaps from under center in this game?
I mean, it's much different than it was before, and I think it had to do with what they wanted to do at this point today. I mean, it looked like they just wanted to impose their will, and they did. And to me, it was kind of like the Broncos can win in a couple different ways. They also had a masterful. There were some great special teams play around the league, but Marvin Mims had a 49-yard punt return that was completely badass, where he's basically doing the thing where you're scorching downfield and pointing at a teammate upfield to make a block, like, get on that guy and we got a touchdown, and it's exactly what happened. It was just kind of like, all right, the Broncos can go kick teams' butts if they're not, I don't know where they'll end up, but like, it was a butt kicking.
Yeah, to your point, the Broncos had 3 scoring drives of at least 80 yards, including a 19-play, 90-yard field goal drive that took up the majority of the fourth quarter. I wonder, what is the record? What is the longest drive ever? Justin, can you look this up? The longest drive. Let's take a guess. Let's all guess. The longest drive.
Don't use AI.
Yeah, no, whatever. Justin, whatever you got to do, just don't tell
By
Connor.
play count?
Play count for a scoring drive, field goal or touchdown. I'm going to say 24. Let's see who wins this competition.
I'll say 25 because I'll just go with the over.
Okay. I'm going to prices right you. You got it closest without going over, by the way.
What
Connor.
did you say, Mark?
25, but Connor hasn't guessed yet. Connor's searching it up right now.
No.
Connor's control effing this right now.
Let's say... I'd say like maybe
out of time. Sorry, Justin.
27.
The final
27.
answer is
yes.
In 1997, the Tennessee Oilers, who only existed for 2 seasons by that name, had a
the only time it was okay to have that. Oh, there it is.
25
nice,
play
Mark.
drive.
Mark needed a dub. Give him the dub.
Nice.
That was the only time it was okay to wear the Oilers uniforms, by the way, during that changeover period.
Sure.
Anyway, yes, 19-play, 90-yard field goal drive. Congratulations, Mark. It's all coming up, Sessy. One important thing to note here before we move on. Beating the Raiders ensures that if they finish with the same record as the Patriots, the Broncos would have the number 1 seed because the Raiders somehow beat the Patriots back in week 1. The Broncos now have a better common opponent record clinched over the Pats, just so you know.
I'll say one quick thing. They've got quite a schedule coming up. They've got the Packers, the Jaguars, the Chiefs, and the Chargers. That is a playoff run.
That's a test. That will be a test. All right. Let us now move to a break. And when we come back, more football. And maybe Titans-Browns.
Let's be honest, finding the right therapist can feel way harder than it should. Long wait lists, confusing insurance, expensive sessions. It's no wonder that so many people put it off. That's why I'm a fan of Rula. They make therapy simple, fast, and affordable.
That's right, Mark. Rula connects you to over 15,000 licensed therapists and psychiatrists across the country, so you could find someone who really fits you. They work with most insurance plans, and copays start at just $15. Think about that. less than a takeout lunch, but way better for your mental health.
It's great. And Dan, here's the best part. Rula sticks with you. They help you book appointments, keep track of your progress, and make sure your care is actually helping. Every provider is carefully vetted, so you know you're in good hands. Getting started is quick. Answer a few questions, get your personalized list of in-network providers, and you could be talking to a therapist as soon as tomorrow.
Thousands of guys have already used Rula to finally get the care that they need. Don't keep putting it off. Go to Rula.com/HTC and get started today. That's RULA.com/HTC. Take the first step, get connected, and take control of your mental health. All right, we are back. By the way, I want to let you know, I've been in touch with one Adam Schein, fellow Rockland County native in New York. He said he'd love to do the show, and we're setting that up. And with that said, we
Dan, Mark, Conor,
big fan of you guys. With that said, all of us had submissions for the Schein update of this Sunday. The one that wins, though, comes out of Steelers Ravens. Check it out.
Oh, Jim and Tony, look at this. More insanity in the snow in lovely Western New York. How about this? Christian Bedford pick 6. Buffalo's first lead of the game, 63 yards to the house, 32-28. Bills 5 minutes ago. Back to you.
I like that one because you get the take a look at this, and then 3 seconds later, look at this. You get it twice, which is cool.
You need those things, the different inflection hits, the enthusiasm, all the hallmarks of a great Schein update on display in a big spot. Let's move to Atlanta, where, by the way, Connor, we talked about it on Thursday. We identified 2 playoff contenders that we thought could stumble against an inferior opponent. Got the Saints right. And this one, which we got wrong, tied at halftime, 6-6. But then the Seahawks woke up. My goodness, did they wake up. Putting up 31 points in the second half, allowing them to ease past the pathetic Falcons, the moribund Atlanta Falcons, 37-9. Raheem, put that house on the market, buddy. It's over. Credit to the Seahawks. Yeah, they start the second half. They wake up from the stupor in a great way with Rashid Shaheed returning the second half kickoff 100 yards for a touchdown, and you could feel it was over at that point. You could feel this will be no upset. And Sam Darnold, who had a shaky first half, was lights out in the second half, ended up with a game I thought that he needed as well. So I thought that was important. And in general, once this Seahawks team, the Seahawks defense, which of course is fresh off a vicious beating of the Vikings last week, once they lock in and the momentum starts rolling with this team, you do not want to go near them. Kirk Cousins had no chance. Bijan Robinson, no chance. And the Seahawks cruise to another, dominant victory. They are a very good team.
The Rashid Shaheed trade is working out in so many different ways, and he just adds this element to their offense. And our friend Michael Sean Dugar wrote about the fact that Mike McDonald specifically talked to the kick team coming out of half to say, we are going to take advantage of Atlanta's coverage unit, which is the worst kickoff return yardage unit in the league. And that play made me it reminded me, Dan, of when we were at the Super Bowl in New York. And it was like Rashid Shaheed sort of has a Percy Harvin element to him on special teams that it juiced this whole thing up today. It juiced them up. It brought them right out of that weird first half.
Yeah, I thought that was a huge play, and I want to give a little shout out. How did the Seahawks build themselves into this superpower kind of on the sly? Guys like Nick Emanawari, who had a tackle for loss, blocked a field goal, had an interception, had a sack. They just have players across this roster at every level. And, I'll reiterate, I thought it was a very important Darnold game. The Falcons are not a good football team, but you need Darnold, obviously, to play at a smart, efficient level for this team to actually be a Super Bowl winner. And he's been a little too shaky for anyone's liking in the last few weeks. This game, we talked about it, Connor, on Thursday. the blitz. If Raheem Morris sends the blitz, if Ulbrich sends the blitz, how does Darnold react to it? He killed it against the blitz. He had 3 touchdown passes against it, all against the blitz, 8 of 10 for 101 yards on those plays. And why they're such a hard team and he's such a hard quarterback to figure out is he has been lights out against the blitz this year. But there's also been some hiccups where he's been terrible against it. It's like you don't know quite what you're going to get. Today you got the good Darnold, especially in the second half.
He was there. And, I think when you get games like this where not that the pressure's off, but you could just tell how dominant this defense was. And especially in the second half, there was the fumble, there was the pick. And I think that Darnold is like just demonstrably a cooler person when he has like a 10-point lead. And that's just been how he's been for the last 2 years. And I like cool Darnold because then you get to see these really great touch throws. He's like more fun on the run, like the whole thing. It's like fun dad. We got fun dad this weekend.
Don't they feel like a team that's going to win their first playoff game? They're just going to win it like 40-7 against some hapless nightmare-induced opponent.
Think,
but they're at this point.
Yeah, it's what version of Darnold shows up, but this one was the good one. One other note on the Falcons. I believe this is 8 straight losing seasons, if I'm not mistaken, for Atlanta. And they have not made the postseason since 2017. Mark, we were at their last postseason win at the old Coliseum against the Rams way back then. And you just wonder, Arthur Blank said in training camp he believed the organization had the right people in place to build a winner. And it feels like it's building from the ground up potentially again after this season, which has gotten away from them. All right, let's move on. Where to go?
I know where we could go.
Oh, yes, of course. We just talked about the Seahawks. Let's talk about the LA Rams. What a division battle. Not the best game, but what a showing once again. This is one of my favorite, I got to say, it's one of my favorite division races in a long time. This NFC West. And the Niners are like, don't forget about us. But the Seahawks Rams, I mean, pick a winner. I mean, you can make a case for either side because Matthew Stafford talked about the MVP. Maybe we'll talk about the MVP race a little bit this week. But Stafford, to me, is in the catbird seat right now. After another dominant showing, the 37-year-old throws 3 touchdown passes, all in the second half, 281 yards, just dime after dime after dime. The Cardinals had no chance. 45-17 as Stafford just leads a Rams offense that was just totally locked in this game. 30 first downs. They ran 67 plays, 530 yards of offense, 11 drives, averaged nearly 8 yards per play, possessed the ball for 35 minutes. And then when the defense is on the field, they're not letting poor Jake Brisket breathe. I mean, this was a complete effort. Again, like an equally bad lost team in the Arizona Cardinals, but that's what you like to see. You get a bad team on your schedule, you kick the shit out of them, and you keep stacking wins.
Yeah, just the way they set the tone to open the game with 3 60-yard-plus drives, field goal, 3 straight touchdowns, and the Cardinals are a lost team at this point, but the Rams put you in that position. I also love, Blake Corum and this running game is just absolutely something to deal with. And I know they can beat you in so many different ways. They are like Seattle to me, where it's like they kind of just all the pieces fit together. And so I agree with your point about the division, because at some point these two are going to clash in like the highest possible arena for the most important prize. And it's like they're awesome to watch. And like both of these teams were a little lost a couple seasons ago, like both grown up and like built the roster so rapidly into what they are today. And it was like a complete show of force.
I was thinking about that old yarn that was spun a few years back after they won the Super Bowl. It's like, oh, they bought the Super Bowl on credit, and now they're going to have to pay for it. And it's like, no, you could draft well and identify talent to keep in your building, and then most crucially, ensure that Matthew Stafford continues to be your quarterback. And I guess that would be the difference maker if we're trying to like figure out who's going to win this division and finish atop the NFC. It's like Stafford is the difference because Darnold, you don't know what you're going to get, but Stafford, you know he's going to play the game at a high level, both from a cerebral aspect and from a physical aspect. Yeah, Corum, his stats were a little bit inflated with a 48-yard run when the Cardinals weren't even trying anymore in the fourth quarter. But he's a great depth piece on this team. Kyron Williams, when the game was still in doubt on some level, he ran for a touchdown. And he had 84 yards. They had 249 yards on the ground in this game, in addition to Stafford going 22 of 31. And Puka Nacua, the craziest stat of the day, he has an awesome game. He had the catch of the year last week. This game, he mosses a defender for one touchdown. He had another touchdown before that. This is his first multi-touchdown game of his career. And speaking of shaving all my body hair off, I would have bet that if you told me he'd never done it before, but he did it for the first time, which is score 2 touchdowns in one game.
Wow.
How about that?
To Mark's point, though, like, I remember the Eagles Super Bowl run year, or even the year that they beat the Patriots the first time, any of these teams, right? It's about like those 51st and 52nd guys on the roster. And I'm willing to bet at this point that guys like Terrence Ferguson, Jordan Whittington, guys that are getting one target a game, maybe in this offense, would be legitimate 1A threats on 15 other teams in the NFL right now. And we just have no idea how good they are.
On the Cardinals side, Michael Wilson once again had a huge game with Marvin Harrison on the sideline. Harrison out with a heel, and Wilson goes for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns on 11 catches. I mean, of the many things that are broken about the Cardinals, when Harrison came back, Wilson disappeared from the attack. It's like, guys, figure out what to do with your good players. And Jonathan Gannon is not going to be a guy to figure that out. Just like Raheem Morris, you can put it in the books that Gannon is coaching his final games with the Cardinals because this team is just a tough watch. All right. Let's move on. Let's go to Minnesota.
Yeah, we're running out of options here.
Minnesota. We got to talk the Vikings. The Vikings. Everybody's favorite car crash. 9. How about this? You know what? It's the holidays. I'm very happy for J.J. McCarthy because he went 16 of 23 for $163. 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Sure, the Commanders are a bunch of corpses strewn across the field and didn't show up in a 31-0 game. But who cares? That's a nice performance from McCarthy, and something him and Kevin O'Connell can build on, and not Justin Jefferson because he somehow is still invisible. Has nothing to do with the offense in this blowout win. But Justin, a nice bounce-back game after a humiliating shutout in the other direction last week against the Seahawks.
Incredible bounce-back game. J.J. McCarthy looked like an NFL quarterback, a starting level NFL quarterback that you can win with, especially when the pieces around him are working. Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason double battering rammed this Commanders defense. You have some of the best receiving options in the game in Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and the Commanders defense. I think, any struggling quarterback needs a chance to get right. Roll out this Commanders defense against them because it was an atrocious showing by them. They could not get pressure on the quarterback. They ran, I don't know what the exact number total at the end of the game was because it's impossible for me to track this from the TV broadcast, but they mentioned on the broadcast about 3 minutes left in the third quarter. So almost 3/4 of the game. The game's over by this point. Mariota's in for Daniels, who got hurt. We'll talk about in a sec again. But they had run, the Commanders, zone coverage on every single passing play up until this point in the third quarter. So, I mean, you'd think Minnesota with their receivers would be able to do well against man coverage because Justin Jefferson should be able to beat any man corner in the world. But the fact that you make it this simple on this quarterback who has struggled so much with so little experience, to make it this simplified, I texted you guys, and this is what I would compare to. It's like playing a preseason vanilla defense. Like, he should be this. If he's going to be a franchise quarterback, he should have looked like this today, which isn't to take anything away from him. It's good that he did because it's a really encouraging sign for his future.
I don't know, Justin, if you were watching the same first drive that I was, but when I saw 9 emerge, and he did, the character came out after that first touchdown pass, and he had the face and he had the angry eyes and everything like that. If I'm Dan Quinn, I'm sitting in prevent too, because you do not want that guy to beat you, and you just got to keep 9 in front of you at that point. So I don't know.
Let's hear from 9.
Yeah.
Let's hear from 9. Let's give 9 the floor.
Yeah.
It means a lot, and, it's just something that I feel like should have happened a lot earlier. So, I absolutely love those guys for the grace and patience they've had with me. But, we got to continue to do it again. You're only as successful as your last successful act, and we're going to get to work, tomorrow, Tuesday or Wednesday, and keep this thing rolling,
All right, 9. Don't say anything else. Just shut up. Just
Keep
shut
it right
up.
there. Well,
Go back to the facility. Don't get hurt.
It came at the absolute necessary and right time for the Vikings in this offense, because there were some pretty concerning quotes from other players on the offense about the fact that they were going to simplify the playbook and make it easier for JJ McCarthy. And had this gone sideways today, I mean, it kind of felt like a locker room that could boil over and it could turn really toxic. And instead you get this. And it's just for me with the JJ McCarthy thing, we're in a place where we want these guys to grow up in 4 weeks. There's a lot to pick up here. This is a step. It's a step. And are we saying that we have a franchise quarterback? There's still a lot of questions. We don't know that, but it's a step though.
My one McCarthy thing, or not even a McCarthy thing, because honestly, I still feel exactly the same, that he's actually not part of this future, and they have to make decisions about how they're going to handle this quarterback situation. But the biggest situation they have is they have an all-time talent in Justin Jefferson. And if I'm Kevin O'Connell, I'm like, this is great, but I'm looking at this box score.
Yeah.
And all 3 touchdown passes went to tight ends, and Justin Jefferson goes 2 for 11 on 4 targets. And I'm thinking, I got 4 games left this season. I am going to target this guy like a mother effer, because the one thing we can't deal with is, on top of all other challenges in identifying a quarterback, is dealing with the wide receiver wanting out of towns, like Stephon Diggs, which brought Justin Jefferson here in the first place. We need to placate this guy. I'm sorry, that might not be the team first attitude, but we can't have these games taking it into the offseason, because this is not denigrating his character. I'm just going by how the league tends to operate. If he ends up with 700 yards receiving this year and not another touchdown, he's going to probably want out. And it's they need to find a way to communicate with this guy and get him the rock. And that to me is the only objective the Vikings should have for the rest of this lost season.
Yeah, can't you see him on a flaming athlete on athlete podcast after the season ends? Yeah, right. I mean,
can't you see the Vikings being stripped from his social media accounts? And I'm not saying he seems like a great guy, so I'm not saying he's a malcontent or anything. I'm just saying this is how it tends to work in the NFL.
Yeah, and to that point, McCarthy was playing really fast today, which is credit to him. It's one of the fastest games he's had this season in terms of time to throw. He completed 10 of his 16 completions came on throws under 2.5 seconds, which would sound like he's hitting his first read really quickly, which is usually how you get the ball out of your hands that quick. It's kind of bizarre then that Justin Jefferson only has 2 catches, because shouldn't Justin Jefferson be his first read on 80% of his dropbacks? He's Justin Jefferson, for goodness sake.
I don't know, man. One thing I do know is both this game and the last game that we talked about, when a great team has a bad week, and we talked about this on the Thursday show, watch out. And that's what happened to the poor Cardinals when the Rams went there. When a bad team has a good week, and they still fall short, like happened with the Commanders last week, look out, because they're probably going to roll over and play dead the week after, because they shot their Johnny Wad. Tough one. Connor, finish this one off.
I don't know if you guys saw the Sunday splash reports, but Rap Sheet did have on NFL, whatever their morning show is, the Wolf Show. I forget what it is. But Ian, who's great, said that they are supposed to bring in competition for McCarthy this offseason. So
we can't leave this game recap without mentioning that Jaden Daniels got hurt again on a 4th down. They go for it on 4th and short. It's a quick RPO pass concept thing. Ball gets tipped into the air and picked off by Andrew Van Ginkel. And here comes Isaiah Rodgers, just detonates Jaden Daniels, who's trying to sprint back to make the tackle, lands directly on the elbow that he had already dislocated, goes to the tent, is quickly ruled out. He wasn't playing well before that either.
Yeah.
So not a good sign. I don't know why you would bring him back this season. You're 3-10. Just let Mariota play out the string. But it did sound like the reporting was that they want to try to get him back on the field again.
Gee, have we not learned anything? Washington, do we remember RG3? They are 3-10 according to Tankathon. They're at the 6th overall pick. There is no reason to play this guy in meaningless football when he's not physically right. And by the oh my God, Atlanta's up to that top 10 pick. They're at 9. And where's that pick going? The Los Angeles Rams.
It's amazing.
All right. Good show, everybody. A reminder, there's one more game on Monday night, Monday Night Football.
What do we do?
And we recap every game because that's what we do. We recap every game in the NFL, no matter how high or how low. So thank you for your hedonism. Eagles, Chargers, Sessy. That's going to be a good one.
Well, okay. We'll discuss that when it occurs. This is utterly absurd what's unfolding right now. And another example.
There's one more game. Is that what you're referring to? Yes. Okay. Let's cut the music and let's head, to Cleveland, Ohio. Oh, break out the Titans. They go to Cleveland. Bang Dan's fantasy football team. Plug in the Browns. Plug and play at home against the Titans. I got Graver telling me all week that Myles Garrett's going to have 15 sacks. Poison my mind because the Titans go off. Tony Pollard rushed for a career-high 161 yards, 2 touchdowns. The defense forces 2 turnovers and then hold off a Shedeur Sanders-led comeback with some special help from Mr. Kevin Stefanski. A very curious decision, which we'll get to. Final score, Titans 31, Browns 29. Speaking of Tankathon, Titans now drop behind the Giants in the NFL draft order with 4 to play. The Browns move up to 4th overall. That's them stakes, Sessy.
Your fantasy team predicted this the way that many did, and it didn't go that way. The biggest surprise was to see this Browns defense at home, which is where they shine, get flamed the way they did. Myles Garrett did get 1 sack. He's up to 20. But I also thought this seemed like a showcase for him to absolutely, in one of the last chances at home before he breaks the record, to do what Myles Garrett you'd expect him to do against a bad Titans team. Didn't happen. Second biggest surprise to me was the play of Shedeur Sanders. No matter, just take the name off the jersey, forget about what you think about him. Like, he made some pretty great throws in this game. And this is one of the better rookie classes, and I'm not even packing Shedeur Sanders into this, but that I have seen the Browns ever maneuver for. I mean, all their young players, Carson Schlesinger, Harold Fannin Jr., who went off for 100+ to this game, are really, really playing well, and they look like the future of the team. And so if you throw in the idea that Shedeur Sanders, the Browns are 81 years old, and they have never had a rookie throw for 300+ yards, 2+ touchdowns, and also a rush for a touchdown ever. And he did all of those things today. Did he make some mistakes? Yes. But each game, he shows that he's better than Dylan Gabriel, and he's aggressive, and he throws the ball downfield. And to your point, Dan, they get in a position where they are down by 2 points at the end of the game. And Kevin Stefanski, who there's all these whispers that there's just this disconnect between him and Sanders, and Stefanski and Earth at this point, but he pulls Shedeur Sanders off the field on the 2-point conversion and has a direct snap to Quinton Judson, who kind of bobbles the ball and the whole thing goes south. And they had failed on a 2-point conversion earlier. It's like, what are you doing here?
Well,
why would you?
It was like a design trick play, right?
But he's too up his own butt on this. What are you doing?
And Sanders, to his credit, after the game, they asked him about it, and he said, listen, I would have liked to have the ball in my hands or be on the field in that spot, but I'm going to, I stand by any of the play calling. But that's an absurd decision by Stefanski, who's not had a good year in Cleveland. I don't think he's going to get Coach of the Year this year. You are in development mode. You're trying to figure out what you have in the quarterback, unless, to your point, Mark, or to the point of the whispers, Stefanski has already internally decided, I don't want anything to do with this guy as my long-term guy, so I don't need to see what he's going to do in this 2-point conversion that can tie the game. Takes him off the field. It fails miserably. They look dumb. They lose the game. Here's Stefanski on that decision.
Not going to get into all the specifics, Jeff, but obviously did not go as we thought it would.
Did you make that call or did Tommy?
Yeah, I make every call. Why would you take him off? Yeah, it's a 2-point play. Didn't come through on our first 2-point play. Got to the second 2-point play. We didn't come through, but that's on me.
Was that play call yours or Tommy's?
I'm responsible for all of it.
Sessy, that's chum in the water for Cleveland media.
You know what? Because I will say one thing. I thought the Kevin Stefanski, demeanor-wise, has always been very even-keeled. He's willing to go into detail on answers in the past. He's someone that you feel like there's an honesty to him. This is like a Manchurian Candidate version of Kevin Stefanski the past couple of months. Like every answer is not an answer. It's clipped. He's annoyed. It's like a kind of when things are truly going south and you lose the personality of the coach that you once knew. It's like that's what I'm feeling with Kevin Stefanski, and it's pretty inexplicable. I mean, to me, I get that the team is terrible, but I mean, Justin, you watch this too. It's like the Titans came out of this game with their own quarterback play, but I just feel like what an odd confrontation in a way for it to end. Like it left me furious and baffled.
And the craziest part was Sanders had driven them down the field on back-to-back drives to even get them in this position.
Right.
And Sanders did screw up the first 2-point try by straight up just dropping the snap, just completely mishandling the snap. Titans linebacker picks it up. Could have, if he had run it all the way back, would have scored 2 points for the Titans and put the game back to 10 points. It would have been out of reach. But he ran out of gas and just fell down at like the 40-yard, just fell down at the 40. Said after the game he was too tired to run it all the way back. But yeah, it didn't make any sense. And I thought, to your point, Sanders made a lot of really nice throws. Touch down the field, perfectly placed over the shoulder. The 2 in the back corner of the end zone, 1 to Njoku and 1 to Fannin, were just amazing throw, like the kind of throws that you want to work with and develop. So it's so bizarre. I mean, maybe it's the media stuff, like the narratives and the distractions around it, but it's bizarre to me that they wouldn't want to explore this and try to develop it further.
Justin, 1 point on the Titans, and then we got to go.
Cam Ward had the best incompletion you will see this season. Grant Delpit. This is going viral on Twitter, so don't make fun of this. Grant Delpit had him dead to rights on a sack. Cam Ward, tried to shrug him off, and it looked like he was going to fail to shrug him off, and then somehow gets him up in the air and throws him to the ground, and then just has to chunk the ball out of bounds. But it was
pretty wild.
It was a special athletic play.
Great. All right. That's it for the show. By the way, cut for time. We did have. Can you play the college fight music anyway? We were going to give both Justin and Connor 60 seconds to rant about Notre Dame getting screwed out of the college football playoff and UT getting screwed out of the college football playoff. And then
we weren't as screwed as Notre Dame, but yeah.
Okay, and I was going to dovetail that into being pissed off about Don Mattingly getting screwed out of the Hall of Fame. Just know that everyone outside of Cessy is pissed off about their fandom outside of the NFL, and that's it.
Well, I've got things to be annoyed at, trust me.
In the sport of life?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Great stuff. We'll see you Monday night when we finish out Week 14. Can you believe it? Week 14, we'll finish up with Eagles, Chargers, 2 8-4 teams. Nice way to end it. Cessy, put a bow on the show.
These Sundays are like a big stack of pancakes and syrup, and I want to keep eating.
I love it. Sessler eating. What a novel concept. Till next time, heed the call.